The roof of the barn is going to be corrugated tin. And the way I'm going to do that is with aluminum foil. This is the thicker, the heavy-duty kitchen foil. And so originally I bought this crimper, and it works really well. The problem is it's not long enough this way. You know, the corrugations, you don't want them running east and west, you want them running north and south. So this one wasn't going to work because I can't get the length out of it. So I was able to pick up this one, which is plastic, a little cheaper, but it's a paper crimper, and it works exactly the same way. Put your piece in there and just roll it through, and it creates the corrugation. And this one is definitely long enough for me. So I've cut 2 pieces of the aluminum foil, and they are 3.84 inches wide, technically. Close. We're not exact on that, but it's real close, because that is the scale length of an 8-foot long sheet. So with the corrugations running this way, we'll get our 8-foot long sheets, and then I'll cut these down to a 4-foot wide. So we'll get 4x8 sheets of corrugation. The tricky part of this is getting it in to start, having it in there straight so that everything works out evenly. And then you gotta, wow, yeah, this is not easy. Yep. Okay, let's see. Well, this is going to be more difficult than I thought it was. The problem is, if I don't get it in there squared, then all my corrugations are going to be at an angle. And I've already got the length I need, so I don't want them at an angle. I want them straight. And this, there's no way to support this. So I got to try to hold the base of it with one hand, and then turn the screw with the other while getting this thing to feed in. Okay, I might, no, not quite. Okay. Dang, this is so difficult to do. All right, let me work on this a minute and we'll come back. Okay, got it started. It was difficult, but we got it. All right, now we just run it through. I don't know, it may not be quite as straight as I hoped, and it's not, but I think I can probably make it work anyway. All right, so there we go. There's our corrugated tin. And it's not as square as I would have liked, but I think I can work with that. It's not off by much. And once everything is weathered and whatnot, I don't think it'll be as noticeable. So there's one sheet. I'll get the other one rippled the same way, and then I'll cut it into 4-foot wide sections. And here we have our sheets. I think that looks pretty accurate. Because it's so thin and kind of flimsy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray these with an etching primer, a metal etching primer. I'll do one side, let it dry, and then flip them over and do the other side. That'll give them a little bit more thickness and just a slight bit more rigidity. And then I can do my weather painting on it, and I think they'll look pretty natural. I'm going to assemble my roof off of the other structure so that I can remove it. And to get everything up in alignment, I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 blocks. And the ends of these are going to hang over the outer wall. So we need to hang them over the edge of our bench here. And I'm just going to temporarily get them in position, and then I'll measure everything and get the proper separation between them. And you can see on this end, the more open end of them, I made them a little unfinished and broken, just to help tell our story a little more. And then I've got a few pieces actually that'll be laying on the ground in our diorama, pieces of the roof that came apart. Everything's properly measured out, and I'm going to glue these strips down. These are the strips that our corrugation would be nailed to, if that's what we were actually doing. The center one will obviously have to wait till I can get the other two in place and set up before I pull the 1, 2, 3 blocks out. But I'm going to be using superphatic glue, and if you're not familiar with this, it's like an aliphatic, like wood glue, but it's got similar properties to a CA glue in the fact that it dries really quickly. Now, one of the other benefits of it that makes it more like the aliphatic glue is that even once it's dried, it's got a little bit of a rubberiness to it, a little bit of a give, so it's not going to be solid, which will make removing this, off and on if I want to, less cumbersome, less chance that it's going to break, because it'll have just that little bit of give to it. There we have our basic roof structure. Some of the glue is still drying. I'll let it sit here for a little while. It doesn't really take that long for this to dry. I mean, it's already tacked up, really. I'm just going to give it a little more curing time, and then we'll move on to the next step. The corrugations were sprayed with the etching primer, which was a dark gray with a hint of maybe like a green to it. And then I went over them with Tamiya's flat aluminum airbrushed on, and they are glued to our structure. And you can see kind of that greenish gray showing through, which, I mean, that's great. That just adds to our weathered finish when we get there. So I have not weathered anything just yet. I mean, other than, the wood is obviously distressed, and the corrugation is aged, let's say. But we're going to give it some rust. We're going to knock a few holes and slits in it and curl some edges. But I think that'll end up on the final episode. I think where I'm at this week, I'm just about to the point where we're kind of finishing off the scene. So just the final details. So next week's episode should be the final reveal with everything completed. Body is painted. Everything is assembled. I don't have the wheels and tires on yet, but everything else is done. It's decal time. And there's quite a few of exterior decals to put on this thing. So, we're going to start with the left side and work our way around. The other thing I have not put on it is any license plate holders. I don't know that I'll put one on the front at all. I will put one in the back. I just have not done that yet. But yeah, we're gonna start on this left side and hope that all goes well. This will be the side with the tarps on it, so it won't be seen. So this is kind of like our opportunity to practice getting them on straight and without wrinkles and without breaking them before we do it on the driver's side, which will be visible. Right side done. Didn't come out too bad. This long stripe here isn't perfectly level. But, like I said, this is on the right side of the car that's going to be covered up with the tarps, so I can live with that. The other side will have to be straighter. But now that I've done one side, I know, what to expect. And then I also got the rear done. So on the rear, so the white part of the taillights is a decal. This black border, well, the black wide stripe and the thin border is one decal. The Boss 351 is a separate decal. The Mustang on the gas cap is a decal. And there actually is a keyhole decal, but it's a black circle with a black line, and they tell you to put it over this black stripe, so it does not show up at all. But it is the same as the one here on the passenger side door. Same kind of decal. The car is finished, with the exception of just a few little touch-ups of paint that need to happen. This area right here at the bottom of the windshield was originally yellow like the rest of the car, and I realized that needed to be black, flat black. In fact, the windshield wipers are molded into that too. So it's got a single coat of very thin black flat on it right now that I hand brushed. I will go back in with more after a while to make it more opaque. And then I'll probably use a different shade of black or rubber black to get the windshield wipers. And that will be done. I did go ahead and finish the hood. I wasn't going to do that originally. And really, I had no reason to finish it because, and what I have not yet done, I'm going to make another tarp. So you see it's sitting on sawhorses, and I'm going to have a tarp over that, and then some of our miscellaneous stuff will be sitting on it. So, obviously not very well taken care of. I do need to still add my hood hinges, paint those and have them in the up position without the hood attached. So that'll finish that. But this is where we are. Like I said, this episode, we're going to stop with where we're at here. And then the final episode, the final reveal, will have everything in place and finished off completely for our scene. But thanks everybody for sticking around this long. I hope you're learning something from it. I hope you're being entertained by it. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Interact with me. But until next week, y'all, peace and love.